Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another race with Ames League here. We're going to have an exciting MX5 series race here at Laguna Seca. Favorite track of mine. Ryan, how do you feel about this track? Absolutely. Real quick, it looks like there's no mic going. Why is this? I had an issue earlier with this. Now it's not working. It seems excellent. So real quick, we're going to see why. No. Well, Discord audio as well as it looks like a lot of my things are reset here. Yeah. Not quite sure why. No, it's just fucking OBS shit, man. I don't understand this. Morning, Jared. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed practice while we get this. Oh, Jess is alive? Holy. Alrighty, we can hear myself, we can hear, you guys can hear the, no, you can't hear Ryan, but you can hear the game audio, right guys? Alright, now we just have to figure out why we can't hear Ryan. So... how about... Ryan, can you try talking again? Nope. Yeah, I don't know why this just randomly resets me. Yeah. Ryan's been muted, you know. Thank you. Ryan, can you tap? Why is this not working? Is it a Discord problem or is it OBS? Let's find out, guys. That's video. All right, Ryan, try again.
Testing.
Holy moly, there we go.
Hey, okay, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for sitting through us in our technical difficulties. Thanks to Discord and OBS.
Yeah, there's only so many things that we can do beforehand.
Yeah, this is not one that we can test. Good morning, 275A35DE. Go Giller, they said.
That's a username.
That is indeed a username.
Alrighty, so real quick, where are we going to say again? It looks like practice is just about ending here in a few minutes. So we're going to say a tough track. I feel like we've been saying that for a few weeks now. Tough track. But probably the biggest feature I'd say with Seca is the corkscrew that everybody loves. It's a heck of a drop. We're actually going to be coming up to it now on stream, assuming the lobby doesn't close to practice. We're on board with Winter real quick here, and you can see it's a blind corner basically where all this. Well, that's not how you're supposed to do it. Winter making me look bad, but you can just see the elevation change as you go down. All of a sudden, it's very tough. There's okay, he is having a moment getting out of here. Actually.
It's like me in a foam pit. I jumped in and it was terrible to get out.
Well, now he's doing it on purpose. I understand.
Yeah, I said before when my mic was muted, it's a technical track. It wasn't my favorite when I was less experienced driver. It still isn't my favorite, but there's a lot of places you can make up time. There's a lot more places where you can lose a lot of time. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of both things today. Some drivers putting up some impressive times from what we've heard. But how will that settle out in the race? We'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. It I mean, you and I put some practice in early this week, and it was pretty tough to get down to these. I mean, we have some 133s shown, which is pretty quick. We were around 135, I think was my best. So I'm sure if we move down the grid a little bit, we'll see some practice times closer to that. But even still, if it's a close field, then hopefully we have some good racing.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. I think it's a well-suited track for these cars. Obviously, they're racing in real life, and it's a blast. And I was watching that actually in preparation for our stream of this, and it's pretty wild to see all the rows of Miatas just go after, as we just saw Demon on stream go over one of those curves. That's something I was going to mention is those curves can really make or break you, and sometimes it feels like the optimal line is going basically having one wheel on the outside of the curb, the sausage curbs.
You're straddling the sausage, basically, what you're getting at.
Yeah, you just want to see how the sausage gets made,
Exactly. It's definitely tough. Yeah, those sausage curbs will send you flying on two wheels. And in testing, I know one of our favorite racers was complaining about flipping his car a few times. So...
That's exactly
it's
right.
It's definitely a thing that can happen, unfortunately. So we're going to be starting qualifying here in just a moment. And, it's this track. I found that I actually got pretty good at Sector 1. And I was constantly setting purples in my own practice. But the moment I stopped, or the moment I got past that, either I jumped a sausage curb or I miss a turn. It's very easy to try and push a little bit too hard here, and you end up in the sand, or gravel or grass. So,
or the wall in some cases.
Exactly. So we got a few guys going out on so far, and while they're on their outlap, it's always a good time to see what kind of livery game we got going on. I don't think a whole lot of changes this week. We didn't see a lot of guys posting up. Tony's got his Crocs livery, classic, I suppose. Followed by Moose, who Moose did have the Barbie for a while, didn't he?
No, Winter has Barbie. Moose was rocking the Oppenheimer.
Moose had the donut livery.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. All right. So then followed by Moose. Moose, we got Demon out there. His California Angels livery.
Yeah, it's a good color scheme. Looking nice.
Brand white, can't go wrong with that. So,
nope, not at all.
I'm sure we'll jump aboard with the rest of the crew as we get going, but we're going to just stay up front real quick as we're ending our outlap here in a moment. And Demon's going a little wide there. That turn in particular, I think it's turn 10. That sausage curb at turn 10, man, always kills me.
Yeah, that can get you real out of nowhere and upset, a part of your lap where you can carry a lot of speed, right? Down that mini straight to the last corner. So Tony Call's coming down now towards turn 1, which is barely a turn, right up to the Andretti hairpin. This was my kryptonite this week. Let's see how he handles it. Hugging those apexes nicely.
Yeah, you gotta get a good braking and turning point here. If he can maintain and carry enough speed through turn 4. And look, he downshifts to third. I've heard if you guys go and taking them 3rd or 4th, kind of depending on how you're feeling. Now this corner as well, it's an uphill like braking zone real quick, so you can carry a lot of speed, and it's fairly wide track at this point, right? So you kind of take advantage of all the track here. And then turn 6, we're coming up to the Rahal Straight, and this is a turn, especially we're going uphill, we're getting to the top of the corkscrew basically, and that turn can make or break your lap for sure as well.
Yeah, that's another one where you carry a ton of speed. As you see, Tony Cal slamming on the brakes to slow down enough to get through this corkscrew. Both him and Moose looking clean and tidy through there as they're rounding around on the rainy curve, and then coming up on P10 again that we just mentioned before, turn 10, I should say. Again, a place where if you hit it just right, you can carry a lot of speed coming down this last straight here.
Or if you hit the sausage surface right, you can carry a lot of speed in the air.
That's exactly right. Let's see what kind of times they're going to put up. Moose really benefiting from this draft, I think, on Tony Cal, though.
Yeah.
Tony maybe not liking that.
A 134, though, is not bad. You know, Tony's going to get a fast lap in there, I'm sure. Moose with a 133.8, possibly getting benefit from that toe a little bit. That's the stream. We got a Lobby with 135.5, Purple 136.5. All the times are coming up now. And for the first laps, it looks like we have, you know, the midfield again is going to be pretty tightly packed. As Tony Cal gets a little bit of air, but sets Purple sector 1, and we have Winter taking the fastest lap now away from Moose with a 133.7.
Yeah, that's a good time. And, you know, I saw a few people even just in practice with 133s. I think Winter, Moose, Giller, I saw. Tony Cal, I'm sure, is going to be up there as well. Well, the 134.1 is not slow by any means.
That looks like Tony Cal decides give way for Mooseman, and he's going to try and duck into that slipstream and see what happens. Arctic, someone who is setting rapid laps in his practice, at a 135, so we'll have to keep an eye on Arctic. I'm sure they'll be looking to improve that time. Maybe they're in some traffic or something like that. But I was just thinking about Moose and Tony being so close. They're almost fighting each other, which, you know, you don't necessarily want to get in someone else's way for qualifying, and you certainly don't want someone else to get in your way. But like I said, Tony kind of took offline and ducked in behind Moose. So we'll see if he's able to get any advantage here with his second flying lap from both these drivers. Mooseman crosses the line, maintains second place. Like Tony maintains third place as well with a 134.1, still being his.
Yeah, he was 8/10 slower there. I think it was just a matter of, you know, getting offline and trying to get behind Moose. I can't help but wonder, though, is this us seeing Moose and Tony trying to play the long game, sort of say, hey, let's get in front of Arctic at the start and not give Arctic the chance to end up a P1 and just pull away from everyone?
Well, they can try for sure, but, you know, Arctic is if he gets a good qualifying lap, and we know how fast he can be, so we'll see what happens. We'll jump down the grid a little bit as these guys are going around another lap here. Gilly holding up fourth place. I mean, you know, kind of, I don't want to say standard for him right now, but he's been fighting with the front of the grid, and at the same time, if he's kind of had some misfortunes, and he ends up fighting his way through the rest of the field. If he gets sent to the Shadow Realm and has to fight his way from the back. And speaking of Arctic, actually taking the fourth place away from Gilly, but Gilly's going to be hoping to improve on this flyer. I think he's going to get track penalties, though, for that corkscrew.
Yeah, Giller's definitely got a better lap than him. As we see Moose sitting there, I guess he spun out and had a bad moment, didn't want to rejoin. And there are those track limits you were talking about for Giller.
Yeah, it's that corkscrew, man. If you don't get the right line, and if you start sliding on the way down, it's really just too easy to get track limits over there. We'll see what his lap time ends up being, if he's going to be able to improve at all or not. But with that penalty, I don't think so. If he doesn't improve,
definitely not this round.
Unfortunately for him. We will move on down, though. Delp's currently in sixth place, about to finish another lap. 135.0 currently, and it looks like they might be improving just a little bit here. Just barely improved, but to maintain 6th place.
And the behind him, Labu's at a 135 too, so a couple tenths slower, but again, Labu can definitely turn that up. I think Labu and Delps are pretty fair match, and they're probably going to be fighting each other the entire race.
Yeah, I think there are two drivers who have seen a lot of each other probably so far this series. So we're gonna move on down. We got Marino in his Elon Musk X5.
Oh, I didn't know Tesla made a Miata.
Yeah, it's just like $90,000, for no reason.
Hey, he's got the X logo on there. He's got the AIM stuff. It all wraps together nicely in red and white.
It does.
White and red in this case, I should say.
It looks good. But he's putting up high 135 so far. We'll see if he's able to do some. When we did a Thursday lobby this past week just for fun, he had some pace, and it's someone that we haven't really gotten to see too much in these races so far, right? So it'll be interesting to see how he develops. But I don't think we've had any issues racecraft-wise from Marino either, which is really good to see.
Yeah, exactly right. I haven't seen anything poor come from Marino. I think they're respectful. As Tony Cowles sets a new record, a 133.8, I believe I just saw.
Yeah,
still up down at P3.
New best for him, but unfortunately Winter was just a little bit faster still. But still, P3 is not a bad place to be as Purple and Marino cross the line. Purple just slightly ahead of Marino here, and Purple's going to jump up to 7th place, splitting Delps and Labu. Marino's definitely going to try to improve that. Winter sets a new lap record, 133.3 from Winter. That's fantastic for him. Gaming with 135.7 as well. So let's see. Steezy jumps up to 9th place, dropping Marino and down as I'm trying to find buttons on my keyboard to jump around. And just
actually, Steezy's a racer that I feel like we've been actually seeing improve week after week, and it's really good to see. Not just their racecraft, but just their race pace.
Well, all you gotta do is call a driver in mid, and he will get upset. He's spaghetti. Hey, he'll take that personally.
That's right. Hey, you know what? Whatever motivates him, as he's got a sweet Taco Bell livery. I'm liking it. Live Moss, my friend.
Live Moss. And currently down in 12th place, we do have Pato rocking a 137.5 as his fastest lap. We know someone who's been working very hard and diligently to improve their game. And I think, someone who we saw from the beginning of this, maybe not quite the beginning of the series, I can't remember. But, he's had the game, a couple months now. And definitely improving week by week. He's putting in tons of lap time, and it'll be interesting to see where he ends up today. I don't think we have more than 12 racers here today, so we'll get some.
Yeah, I do believe we had some people drop out at the last minute, unfortunately. But Pato, if you notice on his rear bumper, shows that he's led exactly one lap around these Ames races. So super glad to see that for him. If you weren't here last week, we were screaming and shouting for Pato as he led a lap, and it was fantastic to see.
That would have been 2 weeks ago, right?
Oh, yes, 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a very hype race. But this is the final lap. We'll see if Pato will improve at all. Unfortunately, no for Pato. Arctic Arctic jumps to 2nd. Pushing Moose to 3rd, and Tony Cowles 4th place, I assume. Yep. Well, he's on the final lap as well. See if he's improving at all.
Yeah, I did see Tony set a couple of purple sectors a lap ago, so again, still has some pace in him, but not looking too hot right now.
So, chat, for those of you around, who do we think is going to be on the podium? Who do we think will be taken? I have to, if I had to guess, I feel like you have to give it to Arctic. I'm not going to say what place, but I feel like Arctic could be up there. Is Tony Cal going to be able to improve? Unfortunately, not for him. So it looks like 4th will be the final resting place for Tony as we start the race. But I think you'll definitely see Arctic up there. I honestly I'd have to say Winter and. Can I?
Man, it's a toss-up.
Yeah, man. I could see either Gillian Moose or Tony up there. I would love to say a fucking wild card though, and just have Purple take 3rd place, take the podium. So I'm gonna go with. Yuma says Tony 1st, I guess Arctic second, and
maybe Gabe Giller.
Yeah.
Not sure who Dabe is, but that's it's really tough for me to say who's going to be first, second, third. But I think we'll see a podium made up of Arctic, Moose, and I want to say Tony or Giller. It's really tough to choose between the two of them.
Yeah. We got some close races. I mean, look at the gap between these guys. It's not much at all. Winter actually having a fantastic lap, almost just under half a second faster than Arctic. But then from Arctic down, it's really like minimal differences between these guys, at least for the podium in the first couple of places. So yeah, we'll have some close driving and some tight racing. We'll jump on board real quick, see the results. So Winter's gonna walk away with that qualifying point.
Pole position.
Thank you. Words are hard. And Arctic in second, Moose in third, Tony Cow in fourth. So, like we said earlier, we have it's funny how as the weeks have been going on, we're seeing through a grid kind of you can almost start predicting where people are going to fall off, end up after qualifying and whatnot. But we've seen people, whether they just outlast other drivers, or they just they're more consistently on the track instead of going off the track. They're able to make up places and maybe be somewhere where they usually wouldn't be. Even Delps is up in sixth. Delps asking how he liked the new livery. We have not taken a look at the livery yet, unfortunately, Delps. We will get there. I see it currently on the results screen, but I can't really see. Looks like he got a big
I did
jump
get
right
a
now.
good look at it. I got a good look at it during one of the laps. It was looking pretty good, but we'll get a closer look here, as I do think we're going to be going underway now. Yep, Tony Kell telling me he's going to be starting the race. And I'm very excited for the race. We've got beautiful weather on track. I think probably some of the best race conditions. Definitely better than some of the other stuff we've seen lately. And it's going to be a good race. Again, Moose, Tony, and Giller are all going to be working to keep up with Arctic and not letting him get away. And I think Winter maybe is going to struggle to keep him at bay. But we shall see. I know Arctic can be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully no shenanigans at T1. It's a pretty stout breaking point. Excuse me, going into the Andretti hairpin right off the bat. But it is a grid start, so people won't be going super fast, I suppose. All right, let's get this up and going. Display all, and we will jump forward. We'll jump back a little bit so that way we can maybe keep our eyes on the starting grid a little bit longer here. Once again, full starts are in effect, and we got 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the lights are out, and we are racing here at Laguna Seca. Looks like everybody had a pretty solid start. Nobody really lagging behind, but we do have, looks like Sneezy maybe was on the outside getting or Demon, I think, was out on the outside, maybe getting some tires in the dirt here, but it looks like no carnage just yet. Looks like everyone's safe for today. Crispy's not on the field today, so, no one's going bowling, I suppose.
Yeah, thankfully we're not a bowling alley. Always, we do see some contact there between, I think, Labu Purple, which is compromising a couple of other people's races in the back.
How's it going up front?
Up front right now, it's all looking good. Those who were unscathed from whatever happened back there are just, they're going to be trying to pull away here. And we're on board with Delps right now, so we're able to see that new livery. I'm liking it, man. It's looking good. Moose dropped back a couple positions. I don't know what happened to Moose, but they're down in 5th now. Tony Cal taking 3rd place. Arctic up to 1st. Are we surprised? Not really at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, Arctic can really take advantage of any situation he might see. Delps, though, up 4th, was able to get away from any carnage, which is wild to see. Good for you. And, I think Moose is going to be pretty hungry to take back that place and work his way up to the podium.
I think so. We also have, looks like Gilly had to drop down a few places. Easy making up a few places, though, as well. And Gilly looks like he's a bit far back from this group in front, so he's going to want to try and catch up as soon as possible. But, if these guys kind of have a little slipstream train going, then it might be might prove to be a little tough, but if they start fighting, that'll give that'll leave the door open for Dewey to catch back up with them as we finish our first lap, and we are going through the Andretti hairpin once more. Jump on board with our race leader, Arctic, currently about a second gap, but that can change rapidly. Who knows? Winter obviously has pace here as well, who's in second, so I'm sure he'll be looking to close that down. And if Arctic has any mistakes, Winter will be looking to pick up on those real quick.
Yeah, exactly right. And Tony Cal keeping pace, Delps and Moose right behind them. And who's that? Who's the talking about? That's Steezy. Yeah, I was looking purple, so my first thought was purple Urkel. But there's not too much separating the top 6 right now. It's really good to see. Arctic will be changing that though, as we see the gap does start increasing.
Yeah, it's something that we want to. I would like to keep an eye out while we're watching Arctic, who's someone who because we try to discuss not necessarily strat, I guess, but just driving cars in general. And he's someone who I've seen say a few times about you have to get comfortable with this car in particular. It's like you have to be comfy sliding it sometimes, like sliding, especially on these sports softs, you can get the rear end to kick out pretty easily on this car, especially depending on your setup. And I guess maybe at some points it looks like sliding might be a little bit faster than just trying to go for grip. And there were a few times that last lap that I saw him sliding it around, and he was able to make it a pretty big gap. We see that gap closing down right now as we're entering the third lap here. And Winter looks like he's trying to catch up and reclaim first position.
Yeah, I mean, he's cut that gap in half now, and they just went down the main street. So whatever they're doing is working out well. Vinrick saying, "I'm late, I'm sorry." No need to be sorry, bud. Just be better. No, I can't.
Happy to have you.
Yep, happy to have you. We're just getting underway. There was some carnage in the back of the field. Not carnage, but I think a racing incident for our poor Zucker somehow was involved. Is now back down P12. He got up to P8, and then I think messed up somewhere along the way. But we're watching a good fight everywhere across the field really right now.
Yeah, I'm just kind of jumping down the field real quick to see how these guys are holding up and doing. Labu getting some tires in the dirt. And unfortunate for him, because Labu was up in 7th, I believe, at the start. So Purple also, unfortunately having to fall back and fight their way back up. Unfortunate to see, but someone who, like we were saying earlier, can and has before clawed their way back through the field. So someone to keep our eye on. Right now they are in no man's land, so they are just, doing some time trials right now to try and catch back up. We will jump back on board though with our race leaders here. Arctic once again with a second gap. And a second between Winter and Tony right now. So it looks like they may be spreading out a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that Arctic, maybe purposely loses some grip on the rear end, occasionally sliding the car around. And they're coming up on turn 4, not somewhere where I usually do, but turn 5 sometimes I would let the rear end go where they're on their way to now. We'll see what line Arctic takes through here. Maybe it's tighter than what I was doing.
It looks like he ends up taking a little bit wide, if anything.
Yeah, and it's interesting, we have a Discord just for the drivers, and it was really nice to see this week as he just eats that curb with his poor little Miata. But the drivers are all talking about how to get better. It's, and as much as this is a competition, they just want everyone to be a faster, better driver. And hopefully that means that's, maybe some of the back markers are going to be taking notes and getting the practice in.
Hopefully, yeah. It's great to see, but you mentioned about how Arctic just eating the sausage curb, and that gap disappeared between him and Winter just like that, though. That was a big topic of discussion, was that sausage curb at turn 6 as you get onto the Rahal Straight, and Arctic was saying, it's right on the racing line, it's horrible, blah, 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 blah. But he ate it, and, it didn't make it, it hurt him more than anything else, because now Winter is, coming up on him, and I don't know, there may have been a little bit of contact there, I'm not too sure. But, Winter's getting ready to keep up with him and maybe pass him. And unfortunately behind them, Tony Cal had a penalty to serve, so that time that delta between the two has now increased 2.5 seconds, and Tony's going to be kicking himself for that and just trying to get back in the game, hoping that these two in front are going to be fighting and see some pop-up headlights come up. JP in chat saying this commentary is top tier. My man, what's going on? It's good to see you.
Very much appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, you know, you just mentioned Tony Cal. Tony Cal's got between 2 and 2.5 seconds both in front and behind him, so he's very much in his own race. Would not doubt he's getting in his own element just to chase after the two in front of him, putting his head down.
That's, you know, that's all you can do at this point as well. And at the same time, you know, there's no fuel wear, no tire wear for these races, so you don't have to think about strategy. You can just, it's, you know, just think about go for
vroom for 30 minutes at a time.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tony does have race pace. He's a race pace demon, as Yuma is saying. He's also quite got that intimidation.
Oh man, he goes a little bit wide though. We're talking about
tires.
Talk about that rear end, man. No, he is closing the gap on Winter, and I don't know if it's a little bit of fighting from Winter to try and close that gap to Arctic up front. But Tony's going to be relishing that, and so any time he can cut down on them, he's going to look for it. As we jump back on board with Winter, he is all over the rear end of Arctic going into his first.
Have a look there on the inside. Not just yet.
You see Arctic.
Not just yet.
Arctic sliding the tires a little bit going into turn 4. Sorry, and I always forget that they consider that little kink in the main straight to be a turn.
A turn.
Doesn't make sense to me. It's not really. It's not a turn at all, but
it's also not straight.
No, it's not.
Ooh, yeah. As it looks like there, maybe Winter losing a little bit of time. That's okay. That's okay. He'll be able to make it back up, and I'm curious to see how this goes. As again, turn 10, we see. Okay, that time Arctic chooses not to eat the sausage curb. Now they're on the right straight, approaching turn 7 of the corkscrew.
I think it's a lot faster if you don't try to eat that. It's nice to be able to. If it feels better, in my opinion, as far as, you know, like steering the car and whatnot. But as we see Winter trying to go on the inside, a bit of contact there as Arctic was trying to get in there as well. A little bit of squirreliness here, but it looks like we're all okay.
That's right. Looks like they're both still in shape. This is going to be a race for the two of them. Arctic is probably not used to being under this pressure. Usually just likes to take it and go away. But now they're coming down the main straight towards the finish line. And another attempt will definitely be made at the end ready here.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to be going side by side here as we come on down to it. Now watch these braking points. Wow, Arctic braking, Winter rather braking very light, but it may able to maintain a good amount of speed. And it looks like Arctic is still on the inside. Arctic still manages to stay ahead. For now, he's coming down turn 4 once again. I feel like, you know, these guys are trying to race real nice and close, and they're hugging these apexes quite well. But again, we have these sausage curbs everywhere. If you have one tire out of place, you're gonna be, you know, potentially flipping your car at the worst. But most people are just gonna end up on the on 2 wheels here. And you know who's benefiting from all this? We see him behind. Tony Cal back up in the mix, going for a little off-roading here. He's so, you know, not the fastest line out of there. He's excited to get back up front.
Oh, he's pushing. He's pushing.
Notice how he was just sliding that car just across the apex and managed to keep it in there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful line just there.
Yeah, that was really great to see.
Yeah, Tony Cal's pushing hard. He can take advantage of this for sure. You never know. He might be able to squeeze by. And while these two continue their epic-looking fight, we have a great view of it from Tony Cal's perspective right now, too.
Yeah, we're actually going to jump forward with Arctic right now in second. So Winter did take first place, and Arctic is now in second place. About a second and change from Tony in third. So we'll see what happens, though. You know, just because Winter has taken first place now does not mean he's going to have it forever.
Well, we know Winter started in first place and pretty quickly gave that up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, that's always the first lap kind of jitters, I suppose. And, you know, it depends on how his start was as well. Arctic has always had great starts, I feel like.
I definitely agree
from the grid. So, but it looks like so far Winter's going to be maintaining that. And we'll see what happens.
We're talking about the Barbenheimer livery. It definitely brings a cheer.
It's too powerful. Love it.
Ryan Gosling's eyes are too powerful. I mean,
what?
What?
Who?
Back to racing.
All right. How are you looking at the rest of the grid? It looks like the rest of the grid is kind of spread out from each other. No one as close as these two at the moment. The Winters and Arctic weaving all over the track, trying to break a toe and everything. Great line by Arctic to get through, but Arctic actually pulling up, going around the outside and having a better exit, and takes first place away from Winters.
Yeah, that was amazing to see. He must have just carried more speed through that corner.
Yeah, that's exactly what
happened. To be able to get that exit. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, but Winter's not going to go give that up without a fight. As Tony Cal's literally right there, and again, we're back when we have a fight for P1. Again, 3 people in a fight right now. This is exciting to see. These 3 are really giving us a good show.
We are, and we're not even halfway through with this first race.
That's right. They're coming down to turn 11, and let's see, anyone getting squirrely? No, not looking like it. Tony Cal and Winter both going to get a toe effect here, and let's see what they can do coming to the Andretti hairpin. I do think it's going to be Tony Cal rather is a little too far back, but Winter I think is going to keep trying. I cannot blame them.
No, not at all. They're going side by side.
Oh, yeah.
Trading places. Wow, man, these guys are going at it. And
I'll tell you, that's exactly what Arctic did though last lap, I believe, or 2 laps ago.
And now, once again, I mean, look, these 3 are just going to continue pulling away, though, from the rest of the pack. I mean, they're fighting, but they're still pulling away. There's a 5-second gap, almost 5.5-second gap between Tony Cal and Moose in 4th. And then behind Moose, it looks like Steezy and Giller maybe having a little bit of a battle themselves, actually. We can jump on board.
Giller's catching up. Giller's catching up. He got past Delphs. Now he's coming up on Steezy pretty soon.
All right.
Maybe not close enough for a moment just yet, but definitely. That's right.
We'll jump back up front with Tony Cal. As we're coming up to the corkscrew, once again, this is a place, man, especially when you're racing with somebody like right in front of you. You've got the slipstream. If you miss your braking point, it can spell disaster for you. It's really easy to get focused on the car right in front of you. And, you almost get tunnel vision sometimes. It's really hard to battle that. You're just like staring at their bumper and like you want to get past. You're focusing slowly on that. You have to be really, really mindful of where you are on the track. And all 3 of these drivers doing a fantastic job so far at doing just that. And they are, just keeping this pace up right now. We're going to lap 10. We have about 15 minutes left of this race. And it looks like these 3 are going to have a battle. Tony going on the inside through the Andretti hairpin, taking that 2nd position away from Arctic. Arctic is going to want to be fighting for that back, but what a move from Tony Cal. He saw that
Arctic
door
just
open.
broke too late. That's exactly right. He saw it slipped right in. Arctic's though right behind him. Let's see. He's not going to be able to make a move just yet. Arctic's going to have to be patient, but Tony Cal's got to be reveling with that move.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
I'm just here. He's got to be happy, but you know what? Now he's got to worry about in front of him and behind him. So we're going to see what happened. Jared's saying
Tony is hungry.
Yeah, and Tony getting a little slippery, though. He's letting Arctic get a tiny bit of a gap between them, and he's trying to defend from Arctic as well. But I think at this point in time as well, these guys almost wanted to say, I mean, you want to fight for track position, right? Otherwise, why are you racing? At the same time, though, right. If you're fighting for, right now, it looks like the worst that these guys can do, unless someone spins off or, what has a huge moment, it's just we're all fighting for podium right here. We're fighting for 1st, 2nd, and 3rd right here.
That's right. And no one called this trio for the podium finishers?
No, not at all. I mean, I think Winter and Arctic were kind of the safe bets. Tony, with competition of Moose and Gilly to an extent, Tony was maybe the wild card thrown in there. Of course, I called Purple, who's not even in the top 8 at the moment. I know he had some incident in the beginning. And
yeah, he had that lap 1 incident. It was rather unfortunate.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll jump back in with these guys. We'll move down the grid real quick. They'll just see how the rest of these guys are doing. Mooseman in no man's land. Still that 5-second plus gap between him and Arctic in 3rd, but 8 seconds between him and Steezy. So again, someone who's just kind of running time trial laps right now, trying to, maintain 4th place for now. And if he can catch up to the guys fighting up front, I'm sure he wants to be doing that. We'll jump on board with Steezy, who has Gilly all over his rear end.
Yeah, Gilly did just hit the sausage curve, though, coming around turn 4. Now they're headed up toward turns 5. Gilly has been following Steezy pretty closely now for a few laps. So again, blood is in the water. Giller was a shark, you know. He's ready. He's ready to pounce, and really is just waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
Giller's a very patient driver, we see, and he usually has a plan and gets it done eventually.
Yeah,
Knows what to execute.
kudos to Steezy for being up here for as long as he has been. You said it earlier during qualifying, and someone who we've seen improving. You know, it seems like week after week, and it's great to see. You know, they're obviously able to take advantage of. Oh no, as Gilly goes wide and he's taking his trip through the gravel and through the sand, gonna give Steezy the ability to open up that gap once more and maybe breathe easy for a lap or two until Gilly claws back that half-second gap or so.
Oh, just watch our front runners. They just came around the Andretti bend. Tony Cal thought he might have been able to take Winter, but he just sent it a little bit too much, and Winter was able to recoup P1 for now. And it let Arctic close the gap. It was previously a second, which is now just a few tenths. So Tony Cal may be unhappy with that,
but he went for the inside again. It just didn't work out this time.
Hey, you have to keep trying, and if it doesn't work, try again, and that's probably what he's going to look to be doing. Now, I don't know what the best line through that Andretti hairpin is myself. I have a few lines that I thought worked well, but as Winter goes deep and Winter is off into the dirt, he's going to be taking P3, and that gap between those two is going to be increasing. Though, of course, they are coming up to the corkscrew, so they won't be pulling away too fast. But that's going to... Oh, man, Arctic getting the run, having a better exit on the corkscrew. Tries to go on the outside a little bit. Tony holds the inside line to defend and is able to keep that right now. But Arctic is all over the back of Tony Cal.
Yeah, that would have been a tough move from Arctic, especially because you don't typically go wide there right after the corkscrew on turn 9, that is the raining curve. Typically you don't want to go wide. You see all the marbling from the tires and everything. It's not a commonplace, though. If you see a gap, you can try it out.
It's really dangerous to try and pass there, though. It's really, you have track limits on the left-hand side, or you have dirt on the right-hand side.
Right.
I don't think that. Me personally, I wouldn't go for a pass there, but at the same time, these guys are some pretty competitive drivers. Tony Cal, though, holding first place for now. He's going to be thanking Winter for exiting the track as he did. And we'll see how these three are able to, keep on as Moose does too far back down. He's cut that gap down to under 3 seconds. Now, granted, part of that is because of Winter's mistake going into the dirt, but he's going to be happy to see that, and he's going to be trying to, claw his way in and maybe see if he can end up fighting for a podium in the last 10 minutes of this race.
Yeah, that's a tall order, I think. It's possible. Anything's possible, but it's going to require another big mistake from Winter, I think. And Winter, again, they'll be able to close up that gap to Arctic in front and just get that toe. Just give him an easier time staying away from Moose. Real quick, I just want to let you know behind from these front runners. Oh, CZ going wide and letting Giller get the place finally.
And Delps is right behind too, though.
That's exactly right.
Yep. I wanted to check on these guys, and I'm glad you said so when you did, because Gilly is finally taking 5th place away from Steezy, and now Delps is definitely going to be looking to. This is going to be a great finish for Delps as well if he can get Steezy in 6th. Even 7th, I think, is pretty good for Delps as well, but...
I agree, yeah, but both of them should be relishing this right now. P6 and 7 is damn good for them. Again, I know we have a smaller grid than usual today, just 12 drivers, but a win's a win in my book, right?
I agree. And we're going to move down real quick as well while these two are going to try to be battling it out. We'll keep an eye on them actually real quick for the Andretti hairpin. I don't think Delps is pretty close. He might try to make a move. I'd say be patient a little bit now. Steezy's going to be trying to recover from that mistake. Steezy goes deep, and Delps has the inside line, but he's able to maintain that. Steezy actually gets a tire in the dirt, and Delps is right behind him. We will jump up
ready to
eat
up that rear end. Ready to eat up that rear end. And, you mentioned the line through the Andretti hairpin, and something that I did catch when I was watching the real-life racers going through was they really hugged those apexes close and almost looked like they were glued to the inside there. Whereas previously, myself and we've seen other drivers go wide into it and then sort of go deep again, trying to like elongate the apexes or something like that. And maybe it doesn't work out. You know, and again, real life and PlayStation 5 sims are not the same, but just always trying to get inspiration and knowledge from anywhere I can around here.
No, I agree. I do find that if you're able to hug the apex like that, the two apexes for that first hairpin, it's the faster line. But you know, if you're battling someone, obviously you kind of have to take different lines and whatnot. As we're on board now with Marino and Labu, who are fighting for P8. Marino currently holding that place though, and he's going to be doing all he can to defend from the attack from our pumpkin man over here, Mr. Labu. We will have to keep our eye on these two as they're getting really close side by side, going down from turn 10 to 11, I believe, right? And we're parceling, yep, the final corner to end lap 14 for these two drivers. So these
that
two,
was a good move by Labu, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a fantastic move by Labu. Really, really good driving. Marino's going to be trying to keep up and take that place back. Jump on board. Behind is Urkel in 10th and Demon in 11th. Demon about a second off of Urkel at the moment, but you know, as we can see, a second isn't a whole lot of time here if you're able to keep that pace up between both drivers.
That's exactly right. Now, while you've been working your way down the corner, I was keeping an eye on the guys up front. Tony Cal up front, 1.5 seconds to Winter in second place. Tony Cal does have a 0.5 second penalty, though, that he'll be serving very, very shortly. Arctic in P3, and literally right behind him is Moose with half a second between Moose and Arctic. So this is a fight for P3, and very well a fight between Tony and Winter for P1.
Yeah, Arctic has to be really careful here. I mean, all that fighting has led Moose, and you know, and also good driving by Moose to be able to stay consistent. Jump on board with him and look at his lap times. He's been very, very consistent. You know, with that 130, I mean 133s for the most part here. For the last 5 laps or so, basically. So he's been doing well. Gets a little slide through that first hairpin. He's going to drop behind Arctic a little bit more. But he'll be maintaining. He's definitely hungry for a podium, and he would definitely deserve it with the way that it looks like he's been driving and trying to catch up to these guys after what happened in lap 1.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with that. There, I think Moose, whatever may have happened at the beginning that shot him back, he has been working his tail off for this, and the cheers! I'm sure he's gonna scream if he gets into P3 here.
Yeah,
he's got 6 more minutes to make it happen. We'll have to see. It may happen. I don't know, man. This is not the rampant Arctic that I thought we were going to see today. No, not that he's not doing well, but I think this is a very different situation for Arctic versus the previous MX5 races, especially.
Yeah, we thought when he got first position first place in the first lap or so that maybe he'd be walking away, but Winter didn't let him, and then Tony didn't let him, and now he's in third place and. Even still, a podium obviously is a podium, and you're happy to be up there. But based on, like you said, based off the last few races, Arctic maybe thinking that he would have been a bit further up.
That's right, as Tony Cal actually has a gap of over 2 seconds again to Winters. Tony Cal is pulling on Arctic and just pulling away. We said it before. Yuma said it before. Tony's got some race pace, and we knew this to be true. His Crocs may be leading him to victory here. We'll see in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we got only 5 minutes left, less than 5 minutes actually for this race. And one person I did want to take note of, I don't know what happened with the Pado's race here. Unfortunate to see him down, a minute off from Keenan in 11th. But hey, he's still racing. He's putting the laps in, and that's what matters. Unfortunately, it looks like he's had a couple of rough times the past couple of laps. With a 145, 152, 142. Now he may be getting out of the way as a back marker for those in front of him, and that may be why. But we know that he's capable of faster laps here. He's off his pace by 2 seconds.
Quite a margin.
Seconds. So I don't know what's going on with him at the moment, but hopefully he'll have some better luck in the upcoming reverse grid race, where maybe he can increase his laps led from 1 to 2.
I sure hope so.
We'll be cheering him on again, no matter what. Our resident Zugger, our Pato Zug, and he put in the time. I'm sure he's going to be upset, but it is what it is. Again, practicing by yourself does not equal an actual race and race pace.
as I'm just watching up front, and you just cut to on screen. Arctic got a tire in the dirt. Moose having a look around the last corner.
Moose
has made the move happen.
Moose is taking it from Arctic. Arctic is now out of the podium at the moment, with Moose pulling in third place. What a drive by Moose, man.
Absolutely a great recovery drive. You know, if we had a voter of the Drave, Moose is on the loose, as Vinrick says. I think he should throw that on his livery. Driver of the day may be Moose, to be honest. He is killing it, but Tony Cal as well really had a great day. And now the gap from Tony to Winter is almost 3 seconds, as Tony Cal puts it in purple sector 1.
Wow, that's pretty good. And Moose also put in the purple sector 1. So these guys are showing that they have the ability to keep qualifying pace in the full 30 minutes of this. I mean, Moose currently with the fastest lap of 1:33.2, and that may have been with a tow from somebody. I'm not too sure. Maybe a bit of slipstream here from Arctic, who's now behind him. But Moose now increasing that gap to over a second between him and Arctic, and trying to close in on Winter. He's got just under 2 minutes, or just over 2 minutes. I would be amazed, but do you think Moose could pull out second place in this race?
You know what? It might be tough for Winter, though. I mean, maybe Winter's slowing down, or Tony's just turning up. But Tony and Arctic both have a second penalty that they have deserved now. So that's going to really give Moose some relief, some stress relief. But Tony is now saying, okay, got to put the hammer down again, just to increase that gap. That gap he had was 3 seconds. It's now been cut in half as he's approaching the Andretti hairpin.
It's going to keep falling until we start this braking zone for the Andretti hairpin. Winter's going to be so close now, maybe about a second. So yeah, down from 3 seconds to just about a 1 second gap. Winter, I mean, if Tony gets another penalty or so, Winter could try and take advantage of this. And Moose is also up, just about a second and a half, 2 seconds off of Winter. So if Winter plays it clean and Tony happens to get another penalty, Winter could definitely be taking that first place back from Tony. That penalty zone is in one of the worst areas.
It really is. It's enough to have to slow down, but then the beginning of the longest straight on the track. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's brutal. I would not want to be getting any more penalties if I were Tony Cal. I mean, he doesn't have long that he has to keep this position, but because of that mistake, that 1 second penalty was really 2 seconds by the time it was dealt, and they got time to the Andretti hairpin, and he's probably kicking himself for it. He's got a lot more pressure on him now to keep Winter behind.
That's exactly right. Tony definitely kicking himself, but you know what? This race is about to end in less than 20 seconds now, as we see them going around to the main straight now. So Tony Cal's going to have to do one more lap, I think.
Yeah, as our timer just crosses 30, so they're now on their final lap. Tony, the Arctic taking fourth place because he was just behind. He was far enough behind Moose. So we'll take our front three runners. We're going to be doing a final lap. Everyone else will be finishing where they're at. So we have a fight for first, but it's unless Tony makes a mistake, I don't know if we're going to be seeing anything come from this. We'll jump on board with Winter though to get a bit of a cockpit view and just see how close he's able to get here. Tony's going to have to be defensive. We saw him on the main straight, pulling off the racing line, try and break the toe a little bit here. But Tony then also getting a tire in the dirt. Doesn't seem like it hurt him too bad. This turn though, Tony got squirrely, and that's going to give the door open.
Oh, Winter is right there on the Rahal Street, coming up to the corkscrew. Winter's, goodness, these two fighting in the corkscrew. That is dangerous and tricky.
That's got to be a penalty point for Tony Cal. I thought I saw you up half second, but that's it.
Yep, that's it for Tony Cal. That is, listen, they were pushing, they were fighting.
That is brutal for Tony Cal. Unfortunately, he fought so hard to be leading that race, and unfortunately, just one mistake too many, one tire out of place, and boom, he's going to be, Moose is
right behind him.
Is Moose going to be able to take this place? Oh, no, I jumped on the wrong screen. Where are we at?
Oh, okay. Yes, he is. Moose takes
second place from Tony Cal.
due to a penalty because of Tony Cal. That was incredible. Tony Cal is absolutely going to be kicking himself. Holy, he's right. That was ridiculous.
Great final lap. But kudos to Winters for pulling that win. But wow, man, that is so unfortunate for Tony Cal. He raced very hard to stay and maintain that first place.
That was absolutely amazing to see. And I will say, Delps had a really good run on Steezy in the last lap. You didn't see it on stream. I was catching it. And unfortunately, Delps hit the sausage curb at turn 4, and that pretty much ate up any chance of him taking over Steezy from what I saw. Though Delps had a very good race. Steezy had a great race as well. That finish, though, holy mackerel.
Winter, I think that's Winter in chat saying, oh my God, I couldn't see half the race. My VR is full of sweat. Dude,
is it raining?
I'm not surprised. Yeah, is it raining or is it my sweat? I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I would be sweating too. I'm sure Tony Cal is he's got a towel right now. He's probably trying to, he's dropping sweat into his VR as well. Actually, funny, our 3 front runners all in VR. All racing.
That's right, yeah.
VR. Maybe it is the fastest way drive. Well, Phil's not here on controller today, so.
That's right. Yeah. Well, fastest lap went to Moose Man, 133.2.
Yeah, Winter very close to that as well, though, and Tony Cal even closer. So it may have been, just a really, really almost perfect lap from Mooseman that let him get that extra point. But kudos to all the drivers. I mean, really great job by all the, even Arctic, who looks like unfortunately maybe they had 1 or 2 mistakes and that, dropped them out of the podium. Kudos to Gilly for getting back up in the 5th, and Steezy for fighting with him that entire time. Delp's taking 7th place home, and Marino in 8th place. We had Purple in 9th. Unfortunate for Purple because they qualified very well, and it looks like they just weren't able to make up that time. Labu as well was unable to make up from what happened in the lap 1. We'll be taking a look to see exactly what happened there, but we are getting ready for our reverse grid, which means Winter and Moose and Tony and Arctic and Gilly, our front runners, basically are going to be all the way in the back, and our guys, Pat will be leading the race, followed by Demon, Labu, and Purple on the first 2 rows. So it's tough, everyone wants to try and make a move in the first 2 corners, and it's really difficult to. It's also really frustrating when you have someone slower in front of you and you just want to get past, right? You want to get into clean air and not have to worry about who's in front of you or anything like that. But a lot of these guys who are going to be starting from the back, you can kind of be patient, I think. Obviously, they have the pace advantage, and so they're able to, if they see an opening, they can take it, and generally they should be able to claw their way through the pack and make up those places. But at the same time, it gives these guys who were less fortunate in the previous race a chance to fight up front a little bit, and if they're able to defend well and have a good race themselves, maybe they'll end up in the top 10 even, which I think would be fantastic for some of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. It's it's really good, at least to an exciting start in a race that we like to see. And last time again, we were cheering people around. It's a good time. I am just thinking though, I'm doing some admin, record keeping for us for the series. I wonder if Tony Cal's going to try to fight that penalty he got at the corkscrew, and that would then relegate him back up to P1 or P2. Honestly,
yeah,
probably P2 because he did lose P2 to a penalty, but I'm really curious. We'll have to see what happens after the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say when you're in the middle of it, because going 2 into the corkscrew is never advisable.
No, that's exactly right. That's not a passing point. That really isn't.
No. And looks like we are just doing a little bit of practice while Tony gets the room set up, it looks like. And and there we go, preparing the room. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after the race. Unfortunately, we don't have we can't be doing any live stewarding or anything like that. But
You know, I just caught Delp's message in chat. It's 34.6 degrees Celsius. Well, I'll tell you right now, that and our freedom units is 94 degrees. Brother, that is way too hot. Put on a fan or something.
put on a fan or something. These men says.
I don't know. I couldn't race if that was me.
No, I wouldn't even want to be doing the same thing. I'm sure.
That sounds brutal.
Yeah, I'm sure even with the VR, like Winter was saying earlier, man, I that's gotta be tough. It's hard enough, like, you know, in a rig and whatnot. I know when we were visiting Tony and in his rig, I wasn't even racing anybody. I'm like, all right, this seems like it gets a little stuffy, but with the VR especially,
that's for sure. Oh yeah, I think if I had a VR, I would need to swap out whatever you can on a monthly basis.
Yeah, I'd be sitting there trying to take any pads out and, like, you know, putting them in the fan and keep things fresh.
Just put them in dehumidifier daily. I'm excited for this reverse grid. Again, I think I don't know what happened to Pato. I think it's the nerves of racing. I've been encouraging him to get into the daily races, as much as I know that they can be sometimes toxic and stuff. It's really the best way to learn how to race around people. And I did take notice of him letting a couple people pass with blue flags, and he's just slowing down way too much. So we'll continue to try to teach our man some better ways not to, you know, inhibit your own speed like that. But
yeah, it's tough, right? As we see Arctic going sideways. So Demon stopping here. I assume he's gonna be practicing his grid start. Yep, and this is exactly what you want to see. This is what this practice time should be used for. And it's something that we made a point. We had a drivers meeting last week, I think, and, you know, your stopping point for the turn one is different from a grid start than it's going to be if you're running laps and you're carrying that speed from the final corner through the main street the entire time. And it's really important for the drivers to say, okay, this is where I'm starting. Let's take the 5 minutes or so that we have in practice to make sure that you're not going to cause an incident that's going to potentially ruin your race and somebody else. It's not what you want to see. It doesn't create you know, fun time for anybody, let alone a good racing atmosphere, right? If you start taking people out every race at turn one because you don't know your braking point, that's entirely on you, and penalty points are being dished out for that, right?
oh, absolutely. And not only does it create more work for the stewards, but it just creates a hostile environment, and nobody wants that.
Yeah. So hopefully all of our drivers are pretty set on what their braking points are going to be going into this first lap. You see Demon just kind of, you know, taking advantage of this practice time to put in a few more laps. Phillips out here on track as well. Lava with a 3-second penalty halfway through the lap. I don't know where that came from. Is my man just testing every track limit? I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's got to be just looking for the ultimate combination of track limits, I think.
And we have our soon-to-be race leader, Pato Zug Zug. And man, I'm hoping that we can increase that counter to 2 or 3 today, as we unfortunately go off into the sand and the gravel. But we'll be starting this race soon anyway, so.
We do know he's a gravel man at heart, so.
Exactly. All right,
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, prediction time for this race.
Oof. I mean, based on every reverse grid we've had, it's always going to be one of the top 5. It's going to be, Winters, Tony, Moose, Giller, and or Arctic, somewhere up there, most likely. But we could be surprised.
It feels like the last couple of races, Arctic and Winter somehow have been able to just get away with, like, none of the first lap foolery that goes on in the reverse grid from time to time. Arctic especially has the way of just, like, floating by it all. I don't know how. He has, like, invincibility mode on or some shit, like,
Yeah, I don't quite get it either. He just seems to avoid every mishap that happens, that occurs.
He's fighting demons, and it's just his own, though. It's not everybody else's.
Yeah, it's not Demon.
It's not this demon, no.
Not our demon, yeah. I do think that. I'm really hoping that we don't have any tomfoolery again around at the Andretti hairpin turn 3, because that's where a few people's races got disrupted the last race. But I do also know that I think our front runners who are starting in the back right now need to be patient. It's a 30-minute race, and as much as they might be patient. It's a long race. They have to also be patient because they're used to running up in front, but you have a whole race to get in front of these people.
Yeah. All right, I was just looking at Tony Cal sending us his driving playlist for this race. And I just saw Gilly. I was wondering what happened. These guys just like taking photo ops, I think, during practice now.
Imagine they're real drivers, right?
Absolutely.
It's really interesting to see though that what the different drivers listen to while they're racing. I've never listened to music while racing, and then last week I think people started sharing their driving playlist, and I was like, maybe I should do this because I listen to music when I'm doing anything and everything. But for me, I think without having a sim wheel, I don't have any real feedback from the car, right? So for me, I have to turn up the tire sounds so I can hear when they're letting go, because the controller does not give me as much feedback as I'd like. And again, it's a limit of the hardware, right? But for those of you that have used both, I'm curious, what do you do when you're using a controller to help yourself race a bit faster? Because for me, again, like I said, I turn down any music, I turn up the tire squealing sounds, even my engine sounds I turn down because I want to hear as much information as possible. As we are getting underway here now, false starts will be penalized, so we have to keep an eye out on that. Pato, I think, has learned from his mistakes of starting in a reverse here. We shall see as we're about to get underway. Let's check out these lights as they're going to go on. I'm waiting. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The lights are out. Away we go. What's going on? Pato is leading his race again, getting a really good start, actually, I think, as followed by Demon, Purple, and Labu. Let's keep it tidy around turn 1 up here, while he's keeping his eye on the entire track, as Pato immediately loses his position, goes too slow. Oh, good Lord, Pato. Pato, that is not what we wanted to see. But Demon now relishing in this. Look at the gap now between Demon and everyone else. He's trying to get away, trying to lead this lap. I like Demon. I think he could do it. Let's go. As we see, they're 3 wide currently right now, heading up to turn 4. And it looks like people are avoiding the sausage curve for the most part, which is really good to see. Labu does have a penalty of 5 seconds.
Yeah, I think whether he was responsible or not for Pato, maybe some of what happened to Pato going sideways and ending up at the back of the grid. That penalty looks like Gran Turismo said, all right, we got you selling for this penalty, so here you go. Here's a good old 5-second penalty for you, bud.
That's exactly right, I think, as there's now over a 2-second gap between Demon and Steezy, who's in second. Purple and Delps are right behind Steezy, as is Labu. They're all fighting for it, but looks like they come down the corkscrew in a neat little file. This is what I love to see, and some good, clean racing right now, besides that one lap, that turn 2, technically, upset.
Yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that for sure. I don't know exactly what happened. It's hard to tell from the cinematic angles sometimes.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, we have Winter right behind, and Winter goes off right in front of us as we're on board with Purple. Purple getting dropped 3 or 3 cars in front of them. I can't count how many. That's unfortunate for him, but even more unfortunate for Winter, who just could not brake in time. Had a penalty as well, and now Purple's losing to Arctic now as well.
Yeah, but you know what's incredible? We talked about our front runners having to be patient. We already see Tony Cow, Mooseman, and Arctic up in P4, 5, and 6, so they're making quick work of this grid. Again, taking advantage, I think, of those lap 1 incidents and a little bit of mayhem.
Unfortunate to see what did happen, and again, we're gonna have to keep look back at that. But I don't think hopefully Labu's penalty didn't cause him to go too far behind. Looks like maybe he's down in 10th or 11th.
Yeah, he's up into P10. Okay. Winter is right behind him, but Winter does have a half-second penalty, so Winter has got their work cut out for them in this race. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be able to do it, but that's going to make for a long race, as they're going to have to fight through these back markers, I guess.
That's exactly right. Now, Demon is actually did just put it in a purple, I guess, second sector, that is.
Well, we were on lap 2, so.
Yeah, that's right. We're only on lap 2, so everything's going to be purple. And, they seem to be keeping around a second gap, give or take, of course, with the corners and stuff. And the pack behind them, I think they're fairly matched. But this is the first time that we're really seeing a reverse grid play out like we thought it would.
For now, at least, it seems to be playing out, and we're going to see Tony. We're going to see this fast lap going down a bit. Demon held on to that for a little bit, but Tony Calcron with 134.0, and it looks like Demon had a pretty good line through there. Delp scaling a little bit, maybe a little bit wide, but Steezy was also a little bit deep. I gotta say, if I were Delps, I would want to be patient right now. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that was Steezy's mistake or if there was a little bit of lag. That maybe that was a tap from Delps, but you got Tony right behind you, so you don't necessarily want to be fighting too bad right now. You're just gonna lose your position. I'd say hold on to it, and if you're gonna be fighting with Steezy here, which is a possibility. Again, I'm not sure if Steezy went wide there, if that was a little bit of a love tap from Delps there.
I think Steezy went wide, had a tire in the dirt just there as they're coming up on the Ray House straight. And this might be a good place now. Oh, Tony Cal is very much in the dirt trying to carry too much speed. And he's not going to like that. He's going to have to make up some time again. As Delps does get past Steezy right before the corkscrew. And Steezy following very closely down it. Demon enjoying this fighting that behind him. Now a gap to Delps is almost 2 seconds.
Yeah, he's going to be happy about that. Tony Cal with the penalty, giving Purple the door. Purple's probably, unless Purple has a moment, Purple's going to be able to pass Tony on this main straight. And Gilly in 6th place, followed by Marino, may also be having a look here at Tony as well towards the end of this straight as we head into the Andretti hairpin. But behind them, Winter's already up in 8th.
And Arctic and Moose are down in P10 and 11. I did not catch what happened.
I did not get to see what happened with those two.
But that is shocking because they were right behind Tony Cal for a while.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like Tony's going to be serving that penalty this
Hey, you know what? That just means he's going to have to push hard this lap to try to make up any time that is. But his fastest lap is already a 134, so I don't know how much pace he's got left in him to push on this lap.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with Winter and Gilly right behind him as well. And he's going to want to be trying to build a gap between him and Purple for now, but I don't know how much of that he's going to be able to do in just one lap. He's going to have to end up fighting his way through again.
Oh, yeah, as Luke Gaylor is now up to P5, had a really clean move on Purple around turn 5 there.
That was really nice to see. It was nice and clean.
That was very, again, calculated and just executes it when he needs to.
We'll jump back on board with these guys in just a moment. We're going to be looking at, it looks like Delps is now in 1st place. And then we have a fight for 1st here. A little bit of contact between Demon and Steezy as we go down the corkscrew. I'm sure Demon's going to be getting a penalty for going through that, cutting that gap. That's letting these guys behind catch up. Delps is going to be leading the pack right now. But we'll see exactly what happened. We're getting, oh no, Gilly comes out of nowhere. These guys it's going to be a dogfight, man. That's
right. Gilly especially is hungry after that last race, I think. They were probably pretty upset they couldn't make their way all the way back up. So Giller's really looking for a race win here. I believe they had some bad luck last MX5 race as well. And Tony Cal has to slow down right there, giving Giller some more breathing room. It's going to feel good. And Winter is right there, having a run on Tony Cal down the straight towards turn 2, the Andretti hairpin.
Yeah, Winter's, oh no, as Purple goes a little bit too deep there. I think pushing Winter wide. Tony Cal's going to take the inside of Purple and Winter and takes 5th place back again.
Yeah, I don't know that.
I think Purple just outbroke themselves there. And unfortunately for Winter, he got pushed wide, but it didn't ruin anybody's race. We're still in it,
Yeah, I don't know if that was a forceful overtake though. I wonder if I were Purple, I might just give Winter back that place and call it even. But again, it might not be in his head right now. And if Winter wants to, he could, of course, record it after the race. Actually, let me just check the note of that real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. We have quite. This is quite a close grid race right now. Delps still currently in 1st place with a almost 5 second gap because of all the fighting behind him. Delps is going to want to try and stay clean, stay consistently on the track, most importantly, and not make any mistakes, as he does get a couple of tires in the dirt, but nothing too detrimental. Of course, now 5-second gap, and Steezy's behind him. When Steezy actually has a 2-second gap between him and Gilly, who's now in third, but right behind Gilly, you have Tony, you have Demon, you have Winter, you have Marino, who's making a move here on Purple. Purple maintaining 7th place for now, but we're coming down to the start-finish line once again. Probably going to start starting lap 6 here, and it looks like it's anyone's game right now.
Yeah, this is really, I mean, again, this is much more akin to the MX5 races we've seen in other leagues, and, well, mainly real life, especially. This is really exciting to see. Loving to see all these drivers fighting. 6 laps in now, we're almost 1/3 through the race, and they're all still fighting.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of racing you want to see. Even looking back you can look on the mini-map, just look how close absolutely everybody is. We can jump back at any point in time, and we're going to be seeing someone trying to have a run on the car in front of them.
That's exactly right. As Purple is down on P6, Giller up to P5, Winter up to P4. I cannot believe that. That is fantastic, as these three, Tony, Winter, and Giller, are going to be making their way for the podium. I think they'll get it done. They got 21 more minutes to make it happen. But again, anything could go, as they still have to make a places. Delps, though, having quite a race, has a 5-second gap to Steezy Nix in second place.
Yeah, again, I didn't get to see exactly when he passed those two, but I know there was definitely a fight for it, and there was some elbow bumping from at least Demon and Steezy, and now Demon's all the way down in 7th. So I don't know. I think Demon ended up getting a penalty because he unfortunately was, there was track limits at the corkscrew when he was bumping elbows with Steezy.
Yes.
But we'll have to see what happened and see if there's any reports that come out of this. But for now, Delps, man, just want to run away with that and then try to maintain that as well as you can.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, it's really interesting. Can't leave out Arctic and Moose. They have caught themselves up to the back of the pack that you're watching, because 2 through 11 are all closed up into one long bunch, and we are going to see these two definitely fighting their way out the field, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure. Honestly, again, it's easy to say from the commentator's point of view, but if I were these two, you both have pace, man. Do you really want to be fighting each other, or do you want to go ahead and try to just get ahead?
Yeah, no, if I were them, I would definitely make a gentleman's agreement and just work together to get ahead. But we do see Arctic going on the inside and taking P10 away from Moose, and maybe Arctic's saying he's going too slow for me to work with him. I'm really not sure.
Yeah, but you know what, too? As we see Tony taking P2 away from Steezy, but we know Tony's got pace. Steezy had a fantastic race last time. He's doing great right now as well. But someone's got to go up and catch Delps, right?
That's exactly right. Maybe Tony Cal will be the one to do it. We know they had a lot of pace at the end of last race, creating gaps.
I think Winter might have the pace on them because Tony's just going to get that McClemens penalty for going on the inside of the corkscrew again. Now, granted, Winter was right there, kind of, I don't want to say pushing, but Tony didn't really have anywhere else to go because Winter was side by side with him going down that corkscrew. So, unfortunate for Tony, he's going to be dropping a place or two here as the next lap, I suppose, when he serves that penalty.
Yeah, that's right. And Giller again is right behind Tony Cal. So, it's anyone's race at this moment. At least for P2-3 and our final podium.
Yeah. Now we do have a bit of a gap going between Winter in 5th and Demon in 6th, over 2 seconds. Demon getting a little drifty here. Demon goes in the dirt and gravel. Demon is going to fall back to the back of the field for the most part, and he's going to be joining Purple down in 11th now. Paddle, unfortunately, looks like he had a moment, maybe more than just that turn 1 incident. He's back now.
Yeah, Pato's looking at his lap times. He is just out of his element now. His lap times are not representative of his normal pace around here, so he's got to get it in his head and just get together and just have a cleaner rest of the race for himself, I think.
Yeah, it's really easy to get into a tilted headspace when something like that does happen, and it's frustrating. You never want to have that happen to you, but it is what it is, and you have to try and get past it and put it behind you.
You're exactly right. I'll tell you, Arctic is up into P6 now.
Arctic has no chill, man. I mean, he's all chill, but he has no chill.
That's exactly right.
And you know who's
trying to find Moose, man? Oh, Moose is right behind him.
Moose is right behind in 7.
Making the same moves.
Yeah. Now Tony's going to serve this penalty right here. We're going to see how many positions he's going to lose. Now, he's not just going to lose positions right here as he serves that half-second penalty. But as we go along the straight, you're going to see Winter pulls ahead of Tony Cal. Gilly's going to have the run-in on him, possibly at the Andretti hairpin as we come into the braking zone here. He may not be close enough. It looks like Tony is going to hold on to 3rd place, so just 1 place, but he's a lot closer now to Gilly in 4th. And even Steezy in 5th is trying to keep up with this front pack. You know, he's in danger of kind of getting into no man's land right now, almost a second down from Gilly. He's going to want to try and keep up with these two, otherwise Arctic and Moose are going to come through and pass him in just a couple of laps, I am sure.
Oh, I already see Arctic hunting him down. It won't be more than a couple of laps, I think.
Yeah, targets acquired, you know, and Arctic is coming for him.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at their lap times, Arctic is 2 to 3 seconds faster per lap than Steezy. So unless Arctic has a moment or Steezy puts up some really good defense, unfortunately, I do see him falling back to P7 after Arctic and Moose pass him. But you know what? Steezy again having a solid race. 2 races now today having solid races, so it must feel good no matter what. Again, if you can enjoy it while you're up there, fucking do it. As he does have a track limit penalty now, Steezy, that is it for him, I think. Arctic and Moose will not be wasting any time. Looks like Steezy is serving his penalty this lap.
They are a second half behind. I don't know if they're going to be passing him here or not. Maybe serving this next lap. Yeah.
No.
You're right. Yep. So they're not going to be able to catch him. A half second is just enough for them to close that gap down to this next turn. And, you know, within the next lap or so, I'd say they'll probably take Steezy. Unfortunately for Steezy. Even still, though, if Steezy gets 7th place, I wouldn't be mad about that. I think that
nor would I. And it's really funny how, you know, we're halfway through the second race, this reverse geared race, and it's sort of just falling into place, except for Delps.
Except for Delps, who's still 5 seconds ahead of the rest.
5 seconds ahead of Winter. I mean, he's racing really, really well, I gotta say.
Looks like he's staying on track, most importantly, but you know, his lap times are, you know, 134s and 135s, it looks like. So I reckon if we jump on board with Winter, you know, Winter's bit was around the 134 mark, now a couple 133s, and he's got clean air, and maybe they aren't fighting as much. So, you know, we do have 15 minutes left. If he'll be able to catch him as long as they remain consistent. If Winter maintains a second pace advantage, he will catch him in a few laps. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I you know, again, great race from Delp so far. I do see that happening though. But with that much of a gap, will Delps be a podium contender at this point?
That's definitely a possibility. I mean, you know, it'll come down to his defending too. Once these guys do catch up, assuming they catch up and they're not just fighting each other. You know, we have Gilly in 4th place though, just under 2 seconds from Tony.
Tony Cal.
So he's not the closest, but he's also someone who could be contending for a podium. And if Winter and Tony were to pass Delps, then who knows? Maybe, you know, Gilly could have a look at 3rd place as well. But we also know behind him is Moose and Arctic in 6th and 7th. Well, and they're closing that gap on Steezy, and they'll be also looking pretty hungry. So in a few laps' time, I'm sure we'll be having a battle for, you know, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, which is kind of wild.
It is.
We have a newcomer in chat, Salazar. Greetings from New Zealand. What's going on? Happy to have you here. Welcome.
Welcome, Salazar, the Ferrari, no less.
Salazar the Ferrari. Yes.
That's an interesting strategy, if you ask me.
We are checking.
As we see, Arctic is actually real close up to Steezy now. They're coming down the corkscrew, and Arctic once again smells blood in the water and knows exactly what he's going after.
Absolutely. Now, what happened to Moose? Dropped back considerably from Arctic. They were Moose had taken Arctic at one point, and now Arctic is just miles ahead.
Yeah, Moose did some off-roading I saw a couple times, and maybe even got a couple penalties. I can't speak to that, but yeah, Moose was just driving through dirt, which isn't the fastest way around.
There's a couple of rally Miatas around, I know for sure, but this is not one of them, unfortunately, for Moose.
That's right.
But that'll give Marino maybe the chance to take. I don't know if he'll be able to take the place away from him, but at least maybe have a fight for 7th place if Moose ends up going off-roading a couple more times. And behind them, who we have Labu in 9th place, who's kind of in his own space at the moment, but with a half-second penalty. Purple's about a second and change away from him, so Purple may be fighting Labu for 9th. These drivers are almost inseparable, I feel like. We keep seeing them, like, no matter what, they're through, like they're thick and thin, they're together. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, and even Marino, up into P8, I don't think they'll have a run on Moose, but sometimes I know Moose struggles to fight through the pack, and it's interesting because we've seen Moose obviously lead races before and fight for podiums, but then when he's set back here, he just can't seem to connect everything. Salazar saying MX5 seems sick, wicked racing. It is some sick, wicked racing, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know if you were here for the beginning of this reverse grid race, Salazar, but yeah, we were having some exciting battles, as we still are, as we take a look at Winter in 3rd place, who has Gilly just a second down, and Tony Cal about 2 seconds ahead on Winter. So, not close enough for any moves to be made just yet, but Gilly looking like he's got some pace. He's looking a little racy today, and we'll see if he's able to close that gap on Winter and maybe fight him for 3rd place. And behind...
That's right, but more importantly, I'm sorry, the gap to Delps is now down to 2.5, 2.75 seconds. So it is coming down with just over 10 minutes left in this race. I think it's got to happen, Wally.
Yeah, assuming Tony Cal doesn't, have any major mistakes like he did the last race. Now, not all of them were his fault, I don't think. Maybe some were some racing incidents or, going side by side around the corkscrew. But not the greatest of ideas, but I understand if you're fighting for position, you're fighting for position. So he's probably happy to see that Winter's still about a second and a half behind, and he's just able to focus on putting some quick lap times in and catch up Delps, who again you have to give it to Delps for the number one, actually 133.8 is a great lap for Delps.
That is a great that looks like an oddity amongst his laps, but still 133 is really quick territory.
Yeah, I mean, racking a few more of those and you'll be slowing down, increase the time until Tony catches up, assuming he catches up.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Cal's last few laps I'm looking at, his fastest lap so far was lap 10 at a 133.3, then a 133.9, and next 133.4 was his last lap. So, Tony Cal's definitely got the pace in him, and it's consistent as hell, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's good. Exactly what you want to be seeing for someone who's trying to chase down a win. I feel like we haven't seen Tony have a race win here in a minute.
I agree. Tony maybe had a couple of off weeks, and even with the manufacturer series, he's not caring for his car so much in there. But here, where everything is exactly the same, it's really just up to the drivers, and we can see those differences being made here on track. But again, we're seeing some offsets, but damn, Tony Cal is just creeping ever closer to Delps, and that means Winter is as well, as is Giller behind him. This is about to get exciting, I think, in a few more minutes.
Yeah, now Delps has to be very careful, though. When these guys start fighting for that position, you want to get your elbows out, but you have to get them out respectfully. And because the last thing you want to be doing is, it's awesome you're in first place, you've been leading this race for probably the majority of it by now. It looks like Delps has a half-second penalty, unfortunately for him, track limits. I'm assuming maybe from the corkscrew.
Or the only thing I can think.
Possibly the turn right after that. If you take the turn just after the corkscrew a little bit too shallow, you can end up with the track limits penalty. Track limits on the inside of that turn as well. So, listen, oh man, as this gap is now down to under half a second. Tony Cal,
and he didn't even serve the penalty yet.
Not yet. Tony Cal is hungry. Now, Tony, I think, just be patient.
Yeah.
Don't bother. I mean, listen, he wants to be faster than Winter, who's just about a second behind him right now. But you have to know that he's going to be serving this penalty. At this point, I wouldn't want to do anything reckless if I were Tony. I would just want to maintain my position. I mean, unless Delps basically opens a window, a door for him real quick. As we see Tony having a look on the inside, coming down to this turn here as we go start the uphill section of the track. And Tony is actually going to take place on track.
Wow, yeah. That was a great turn by Tony. Just was able to maintain it a bit more out of that corner, and now he's going to come down the Rahal straight towards the corkscrew. And I think Tony was just braver on the brakes. Delps goes off the track. Delps, my man, what are you doing? As Tony goes down the corkscrew, Winter gets past Delps before the penalty is even served, and there it is.
I don't know.
That was a bit sloppy there.
I don't know if that was. I don't know if Delps might tap given Winter a left tap there. It's hard to tell.
I think that's what it,
from that angle. But thankfully, Winter was able to save it and keep it on the track, and no track limits for him. Tony Cal is about a 1.5 second gap now between Tony and Winter in second place. But these two are definitely going to be trying to walk away, as Gilly is right behind Delps, and the Delps will be serving this penalty here. If Gilly, if he doesn't pass him right away, he's going to be passing him before we get. Oh, and there we go.
Yeah, no, there it is. There it is. Killer is now on podium. As right now, we've got 6 minutes left in this race. Again, just got even more exciting. Cutting back to Salazar in chat real quick. The group I'm with are doing a GT4 road car series, about 45 different cars to choose from, tuned to perfection. That sounds like a lot of fun. I wonder who's doing the tuning in that situation. Salazar, just so you know, we have this MX5 Cup Series races every other Sunday, and in between these races, we have a Group 3 Manufacturer Series race. So definitely come back next Sunday if you're interested in watching that as well. But definitely tell me more about that tuning that you have going on there.
Yeah, it was always interesting to see. It's always nice to see what other groups are doing as well. This is our first season really doing any sort of with the league and everything, and so we're always looking for different ideas for next series. We're just running these two right now, the Group 3 Manufacturer and the MX5 that you're watching right now. And I think, oh no, as Arctic has a moment, he was trying to chase down Delps in fourth, but looks like he spins out, and that's going to give room for Steezy and Moose as we come up the corkscrew once again, and Arctic is down to 7.
Wow, that is not something we see from Arctic very often at all. Steezy went wide at the corkscrew, just giving it right back. Just giving it right back. I think it was just too much for him to handle.
That is unfortunate. Steezy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But again, someone who's been having a great race overall, Steezy has had a fantastic day, I feel like.
I agree 100%. Steezy's had a fantastic day, and unfortunately some haven't had, but overall I think the grid's probably pretty happy with the way things have been going today.
Let's check out Delps, see how he's doing. He's got 2 seconds between him and Gilly, and about 6 seconds. I mean, listen, Delps, we got just about 4 minutes left of this race, and you have a 6 second gap to Moose. Delps may be taking 4th place home today.
Yeah, which is definitely, I think their best finish in our series so far.
Keep it clean and keep it consistent, and that'll be a great points to take home.
Yeah, that's right. I am curious to see though if Moose does start catching up. Will the nerves of Delps again go a bit haywire like we saw with Tony and Winter and Giller right behind him?
It's possible. I mean, Delps is Moose is putting in some quick laps at the moment. Looks like lots of 133s I'm seeing on his timesheet. So he's certainly got the pace, but if he puts the toe out of line, he's not going to be able to catch it. It looks like Arctic has another moment. It goes going wide in turn 6, and gives that position back up to Steezy.
Wow, yeah, that is not something again we expect from Arctic, who maybe he's just having a bad day.
Man, I mean, that is the turn though that he was complaining about the most.
That's right.
And about the sausage curve being in the middle of the racing line, basically preventing you from doing that. And it's a bold strategy, Cotton, to try and ride over that curb, because it's so often can equal you just going on 2 wheels, and then into the dirt. So or flipping your car. So it's a dangerous strategy, and if it pays out and it works for you, then that's great. But obviously, it's 2 laps in a row, I think, where we've seen Arctic go off at P6.
Yeah, I think he's just got to play it safe for now, and do mitigation in the last couple of minutes of this race, and maybe be able to make a move on Steezy. I know Arctic is the faster racer, but that comes with patience, my friend.
Well, we're gonna jump back up to the front of the grid here in just a moment. I just want to see real quick as we're coming up to turn 5 here. We're gonna see again just exactly what he's doing for turn 6. Is he gonna try to do something differently this time? What's his turning point? What's his braking point? Not that you want to brake too much here. You want to try and carry as much speed as possible. Okay, so he looks like he actually ends up having one wheel over that exhaust curb, but nothing to write home about. He took it like a champ this time.
There we go.
Yeah, up front right now, Tony and Winter are just racing away. Winter, though, really creeping up on Tony. I think he's going to be having a look maybe towards the Andretti hairpin as they're coming down the main street. And Giller's behind them at P3. Does have a half-second penalty to serve. Obviously won't help him catch up, but I think he's pretty safe from Delp's behind.
Yeah, if Gilly can finish P3, he's going to be real happy then, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was a really good recovery from them. Again, they're having a really solid race. Winter not close enough to make a move on Tony yet, but he's got to keep up that pressure and might be fighting and, really be in contention for P1. We do have just over a minute left, and we'll see what can happen in this last minute of our race.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on it, and we're just going to jump back here. I saw Moose ends up taking Delps. I saw these guys close on the minimap, and I wanted to check and see how he was doing. Moose ends up passing Delps, so even P5 for Delps right now would be great. It looks like as long as he stays clean for this lap, he'll be able to hold on to that.
Yeah, Delps, again, there's just the pressure, I think, of the drivers around him, and that's where we're starting to see him crack. Just was doing so well just out in front by themselves.
Winter once again going wide into the dirt after T6, trying to carry just a little bit too much speed, and that's just leaving letting Tony build another small gap up. And he was so close. He was getting real nice and close to Tony. Unfortunately, man, he just give it a little bit too much mustard, and that you're gonna pay for it.
That's right. Who else ended up in the dirt again after T6? Arctic, just not having a good day. Gonna keep P7 to himself, as Steezy will definitely be happy bringing home P6.
And here we go, the final lap as Tony. It's now turned into the final lap because we crossed the 30-minute mark as Tony crosses the finish line for P1. Winter just behind with P2 going sideways on the brakes, and Gilly gonna finish P3, but Mooseman not far behind at all. For someone who had a rough start, Moose really did a great job at catching up. Steezy having a run on Delps at the very end, but it looks like Delps is gonna be taking 5th place. Steezy taking 6th. Arctic, the prize, down in 7th. I know it was the reverse grid start as Wabu takes.
No, I mean, we saw Arctic and Moose trying to fight their way up, and it seems like they, both had their moments. They, at one point it looked like Moose just wasn't able to do anything while Arctic was, and then in the end, Arctic just kept screwing up turn 6. Again, really surprising for them. Maybe just trying to go for that sausage curb line, which I don't know, man. It seems like it's not worth it in the end to me. But if you can make it work, you can make it work. It didn't work out today.
Yeah. And we're going to have our final race with Demon crossing the line in 11th place. But yeah, that was an exciting reverse grid race. Delp saying sweat creeping into my eyes, impossible to concentrate. Man, you did really well, though, to hold off what you did. That was awesome. And kudos to our race winner, though, Tony Cow, getting a race win finally for the first time. Again, what felt like forever. Winter putting in a rapid 133.049 for the fastest lap point, and Gilly rounding out the podium right behind them. That was a very exciting race there.
It really, really was. I mean, really, for the moment it set off till it ended, we always had something to watch. It was really good to see. Some elbows out for sure. And okay, he won at Autopolis in the rain. It doesn't that was 2 races ago, buddy.
Yeah, that was like a month ago, to be honest.
Yeah, that's old news. Come on. That was last race, actually. I'm sorry, that was only.
Was it? Oh my
ago.
Goodness.
Yeah, it feels like a while ago. But yeah, no, it was, like I said, just action packed, no slowdown at all, and just really, really good to see. Tony Cowell with the intimidating aura really did not treat Delps too well.
Put some respect in my name, my man says. I'll put something on you now. I'll tell you what, though. No, good racing, sir. You had a few whoopsies and a few little bump and elbows in there with Winter, but it looks like managed to pull it off. So kudos. So Laguna Seca, lovely track. We end up having some fantastic racing here today. Thank you to everyone for joining us here, and I'm looking forward to our next couple of races here. I mean, we had some really good results today for drivers that maybe usually wouldn't be up there. Delps in 5th place and Steezy in 6th. Steezy, I think, had a great drive both drives.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, we do have a small break coming up here in the MX Series race. The next one will be on September 10th. However, until then, you can definitely join us the next 2 Sundays in our Manufacturer Series race. Next Sunday, the 27th, we'll be doing the Suzuka Circuit in Japan. That is going to be a delight. And then followed by that, at September 3rd, we'll be at Monza, another really good track.
I'm looking forward to both of those.
That's right. And when we do eventually return to our MX Series, that will be at the Autodromo de Interlagos in Brazil. Some really good tracks coming up, I gotta say. And Laguna gave us some great action to see.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So thank you once again for everyone for joining us today. And we got some new faces in here, so hopefully y'all stick around and for some more exciting racing here. And you can catch us. We have a YouTube channel where we put up we'll put the race up, and once in a while we have some highlight videos and some shorts if there's anything spectacular that we want to highlight. But otherwise, I think that'll be it. Thank you for joining us once again, and we will see you next time.
Yep. Cheers, everyone.